Most people believe frozen foods are the ultimate safety net. Quick meals, effortless snacks, and even a few healthy options. But for older adults, what hides behind that frosty glass door isn't always friendly. Sodium overload, sneaky chemicals, and uneven heating can all turn convenience into a health hazard. Today, we're counting down the 9 frozen foods seniors should avoid, plus 2 frozen staples that actually deserve a spot in your freezer. Stick around because one bite of the wrong item could cost far more than convenience. Number 9. Frozen burritos. They look like an easy win. Toss one in the microwave, poke some holes in the wrapper, and you've got dinner in minutes. But frozen burritos are more science experiment than meal. The tortilla often comes out rubbery, the filling turns into bland mush, and the sodium levels sky high. Let's break it down. A single burrito can pack half, or even all, of a healthy adult's daily sodium allowance. For seniors, that much salt in one sitting can spike blood pressure, trigger fluid retention, and make heart medications less effective. And that's before we even get to the preservatives, starch fillers, and mysterious stabilizers hiding in the ingredient list. The meat inside isn't much better. Those beef or sausage fillings often come from heavily processed blends with nitrates and nitrites, compounds linked to long-term health concerns. And here's another red flag. Frozen burritos are thick, which means microwaves often heat the outside while leaving the middle dangerously cool. That's a risky combo if the burrito contains poultry or mixed meats. So what's the smarter move? If burritos are your thing, make a batch at home. Use lean ground beef or turkey, real beans, and fresh vegetables. Wrap them individually, freeze, and reheat when needed. That way, you control the salt, the fillings, and the flavor. Convenience should never come at the cost of your heart or your stomach. Number 8. Frozen breaded fish fillets. The box promises golden, crispy fillets with a just-caught flavor. The reality? A hunk of batter with a thin sliver of fish hiding inside. Manufacturers bulk these products with breading, starch, and fillers so they can sell you more coating than actual protein. Check the fine print. Many packages don't even list the species of fish, or they admit to using white fish without naming which one. Sometimes the inside isn't a fillet at all. It's a processed paste molded into shape. That means fewer omega-3 fatty acids and less high-quality protein than you'd get from real fish. The oil is another problem. Most of these products are fried before they're frozen, usually in cheap vegetable oils that are high in omega-6 fats. By the time you reheat them at home, you're effectively eating fried food twice. And reheating old oil means more oxidized fats, the kind that drive inflammation in the body. To mask all of this, manufacturers pile on sodium and flavor enhancers. The breading not only hides texture problems, but also drives up carbs and salt. A tough combo for anyone with blood pressure or metabolic issues. If you've ever bitten into one of these fillets and found more crunch than fish, you know the disappointment. Instead, look for plain frozen fish, like salmon or cod, that lists only the fish on the ingredients. Bake or pan-sear it yourself, and you'll get the heart-healthy omega-3s without the mystery batter. Number 7. Frozen meat pizzas. Pizza is comfort food, no doubt. But frozen meat pizzas are comfort food's sneaky cousin, loaded with saturated fat, preservatives, and calories that add up fast. Let's start with the toppings. Pepperoni, sausage, and bacon on frozen pies are almost always from processed meat mixes with fillers and sodium nitrite preservatives. These keep the meat looking red and shelf-stable, but they've also been tied to long-term health concerns when eaten regularly. The cheese doesn't help either. Cheap factory cheeses and processed oils make each slice dense in saturated fat. For older adults, too much saturated fat raises cholesterol and puts extra strain on the heart. And because the pies are calorie bombs, it's easy to eat half in one sitting and unknowingly blow past your daily calorie budget. Then, there's the sodium. Between the salty sauce, meats, and cheese, levels skyrocket. High salt plus high saturated fat is a dangerous combination for seniors or anyone managing heart health. Manufacturers also add binders, emulsifiers, and stabilizers to the crust and toppings, all to make sure the pizza survives freezing without turning soggy. The result? A product engineered for shelf life, not for your body. Now, one slice every once in a while isn't the end of the world. But if frozen meat pizzas are a weekly habit, the risks add up quickly. Want a safer option? Choose veggie-heavy frozen pizzas with thinner crusts and lower sodium counts. Or better yet, make a homemade one with whole wheat dough, fresh veggies, and a light sprinkle of real cheese. Number 6. Frozen pot pies. They look cozy on the box. Flaky crust, creamy gravy, tender chunks of chicken and vegetables. But what you're really getting is a sodium-packed bomb wrapped in heavy pastry. One single pot pie can contain anywhere from 800 to 1,200 milligrams of sodium. That's close to half, or in some cases, nearly all, of the daily limit for older adults, especially those dealing with high blood pressure. All that hidden salt is tucked away in the gravy, which might feel comforting but quietly undermines your health. The crust isn't doing you any favors either. It's thick, buttery, and loaded with saturated fat. Pair that with the calorie-dense gravy, and you've got a small meal that can rival the calorie count of a restaurant entree. Repeat that a few times a week, and it becomes a serious roadblock to weight control and blood sugar management. Reheating is another headache. Pot pies are dense by design, which means microwaves often leave you with a burnt crust and a cold center. And when the center does finally heat through, the vegetables turn mushy, and the chicken fibers become stringy. For seniors with dental or swallowing issues, that gluey texture can make eating uncomfortable or even unsafe. Take a look at the ingredient list, and you'll see more compromises. Modified starches, carrageenan, hydrated proteins, all added to keep the filling stable during freezing. Those additives aren't immediately harmful, but they replace real food quality with engineered texture. Want a smarter alternative? Make mini pot pies at home with lean chicken, fresh vegetables, and a lighter crust. Freeze them in small portions, and you'll get all the comfort without the hidden sodium or chemical fillers. Number 5. Frozen breakfast sandwiches. Breakfast should start your day with energy and nutrition. Frozen breakfast sandwiches, on the other hand, serve up rubbery eggs, salty sausage, and a brick of processed cheese. These sandwiches are designed for factory lines, not flavor. Instead of fresh cracked eggs, you'll usually get stabilized egg mixtures. Instead of real sausage, you'll find meat pumped full of binders and preservatives. And that cheese? More oil and salt than actual dairy. The numbers are alarming. One sandwich often delivers 700 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium, sometimes even more, plus a hefty dose of saturated fat. Pair it with a sweet coffee drink, and you've doubled down on a poor start that can wreck your morning's blood pressure and blood sugar. The texture is another deal breaker. Industrial freezing and reheating turn eggs rubbery, cheese oily, and the bread dense and chewy. Seniors who need softer foods find these especially unpleasant. But there's good news. You can make a healthier version at home. Use real scrambled eggs, whole-grain English muffins, lean turkey sausage or ham, and even add a slice of tomato or spinach for freshness. Wrap and freeze them individually, Then reheat in an oven or toaster oven for better texture. You get all the convenience without the chemical shortcuts. Number 4. Frozen fried chicken meals. Golden crispy chicken on the box. The truth? A grease trap on your plate. Here's how it works. Most frozen fried chicken is fried once in the factory, usually in cheap, unstable oils, then frozen. When you reheat it at home, whether in an oven or air fryer, you're basically frying it a second time. That double fry process creates oxidized fats, compounds linked to inflammation and oxidative stress. For seniors, that's like pouring fuel on the fire of cardiovascular risk. The breading is loaded with salt, flavor enhancers, and anti-sogginess chemicals designed to keep it crunchy after freezing. It looks appealing but hides a massive dose of sodium, fat, and processing agents. And reheating rarely goes smoothly. The outside crisps up, but the inside often stays heavy and greasy. While these products are technically pre-cooked and safe to eat, the end result is a texture that's tough to digest and unpleasant to chew. If fried chicken is a craving, try this instead. Buy plain frozen chicken pieces, season them yourself, coat lightly with whole wheat breadcrumbs, and bake or air fry with a touch of healthy oil like olive or avocado. You'll still get the crunch without the hidden damage. Number 3. Frozen French fries. They're the easiest side dish in the freezer. Open the bag, toss them on a tray, and wait for that golden crunch, but what you're really biting into is a double-fried, chemical-coated trap. Most frozen fries are par-fried at the factory in cheap vegetable oils. Then they're frozen, shipped, and eventually reheated in your oven or air fryer. That means you're eating oil that's been heated twice, which creates oxidized fats. Bad news for your arteries. Manufacturers also coat fries with additives to lock in color and crispness. Those coatings mask freezer burn and hide lower-quality potatoes. But they also add unnecessary chemicals to every bite. And then there's sodium. Many brands pre-season their fries heavily, which pushes salt levels high even before you add ketchup or dipping sauce. Pair that with the risk of acrylamide, a compound that forms when starchy foods are cooked at high temperatures, and frozen fries become more than just an innocent snack. If you love fries, there's a better way. Slice whole potatoes at home. Toss them with a drizzle of olive oil and a sprinkle of salt. Then bake or air fry them once. You'll get the crisp you crave without all the chemical baggage. Number 2. Frozen pasta dinners. The picture on the box looks inviting. Steaming noodles, hearty sauce, maybe a sprinkle of cheese. But frozen pasta dinners are often calorie-dense fillers disguised as real meals. A single portion can pack 400 to 800 calories, mostly from refined white pasta that spikes blood sugar and leaves you hungry soon after. The sauces are thickened with starches, bulked up with vegetable proteins, and loaded with sodium and sugar to make up for bland ingredients. Protein is usually minimal, and when it is included, it often comes from vague meat product blends instead of lean cuts. Vegetables, if present, are tiny and overcooked. The result is a plate that looks balanced, but is really just carbs and salt with a touch of processed protein. And let's not forget reheating. Dense pasta and sauce trap heat unevenly, so the edges burn while the middle stays lukewarm. The texture suffers, and so does your appetite. Smarter alternatives exist. Look for frozen pastas made from whole grains or legumes with short, clean ingredient lists. Better yet, cook a batch of whole wheat pasta at home. Add a tomato-based sauce with real veggies. Portion it out and freeze for later. That way, you're in control of the calories, sodium, and nutrition. Number 1. Frozen TV dinners. Topping the list of frozen foods to avoid, the classic TV dinner. Marketed as balanced, nostalgic, and convenient, these tray meals are really just a mashup of ultra-processed ingredients. Each compartment, protein, starch, and vegetable, is engineered for shelf life. That means preservatives, emulsifiers, color stabilizers, and tons of sodium. The meat section often hides vague terms like meat product or mechanically separated meat, which are basically low-quality proteins bound together with fillers and additives. Sodium levels are through the roof. Add in processed starches and overcooked vegetables with little fiber. And the result is a meal that looks balanced, but delivers very little real nutrition. For seniors who rely on these often, the daily sodium and additive load can quietly chip away at long-term health. Every once in a while, one TV dinner won't hurt. But making them a habit is like signing up for poor nutrition disguised as convenience. Instead, try this trick. Freeze simple homemade meals. Roast a few chicken breasts, steam plain vegetables, bake a potato or two, and freeze them in balanced portions. You'll still have grab-and-go convenience, without the mystery meat. The good news: 2 frozen foods you should buy. Not all frozen foods are villains. In fact, 2 of them are health heroes worth keeping stocked. Frozen vegetables. Flash frozen at peak ripeness, frozen veggies often hold more vitamins than fresh produce that's been sitting on a truck for days. Peas, broccoli, spinach, and mixed vegetables are nutrient-dense, easy to cook, and perfect for seniors who need soft, vitamin-rich sides. Most brands blanch the veggies before freezing, which helps preserve nutrients and reduce bacteria. The key? Choose plain bags with no added sauces, butter, or seasoning. Just veggies, nothing else. Frozen berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries, all frozen at their peak, are loaded with antioxidants, vitamin C, and fiber. They're a lifesaver for anyone who wants bright flavor and nutrition year-round. Toss them into oatmeal, smoothies, or yogurt, or simmer into a quick compote. Just make sure you pick brands with no added sugar or syrup. A simple bag of frozen fruit can boost your diet without spoiling in the fridge. The freezer aisle can be both friend and foe. The wrong choice, like TV dinners or fried chicken meals, can quietly damage your health. But the right ones, like frozen vegetables and berries, can actually make eating well easier. If you found this list helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for more tips, and drop a comment below. What's the worst frozen food you've ever tried? And which healthy frozen food saves your week?